One of my viewers is a creator of indie games on Steam, and he gave me a free key to play his game Glowball, the billiard puzzle game, and he asked if I'd do a review of it. I haven't beaten the game yet, so my thoughts on the game might be incomplete, but I've been stuck on the same level for a while, and tomorrow I'm leaving to go to one of the hottest regions of the United States for a week in the middle of a field in the middle of summer, supporting a project for work and contracting a disease that my boss refers to as swamp ass, so I'd really like to just get this out now. Each level is a table with holes and other obstacles on it. You have one ball that you throw around the board trying to sink the other balls in the holes. Sink all the balls to win the level. You have a counter beside your ball that goes up by 1 if you sink balls, goes down by 1 if you don't sink a ball, and goes down by 3 if your ball goes down a hole. This counter starts at 1 and you have to restart if it hits 0, so you need to find the most efficient order and angles to go after each ball. The game has a casual feel to it, and the controls are simple enough that you can just take it out and play it for a little bit anywhere that you want. It's a pretty neat, and to me anyway, unique setup for a puzzle game. Especially in this table that's full of mines, it's not just about sinking a ball, it's sinking each ball in an order that will set you up for a clear shot your next turn. There's a lot of thought that you need to put into solving each puzzle, and it's pretty fun. At first. The big trick with any game built around billiards is that the physics between two billiard balls requires precision. If two billiard balls connect at an angle, each ball fires off directly opposite to one another relative to that angle. This means that if you fire one cue ball at another cue ball and the angle is just a few degrees off, a mere twitch of the control stick or arrow keys, your shot completely misses. So in a puzzle game built around billiards, every shot needs to be very precise, but the game doesn't really let you make shots with any degree of precision. The only thing you're given to aim your ball with is a line. You have absolutely no idea how exactly your ball is going to hit its target. You have a vague idea at best what angle your target is going to move at once you fire your shot. It adds a huge degree of trial and error to every single shot in the game. Super Monkey Ball has a mini game called Monkey Billiards, and that game, if you aim your billiard ball at another ball, it adds an outline of your ball next to the ball so you have a very clear idea of what will happen once the balls connect with one another, and that's information that you need in a game where accuracy is everything. You don't get any leeway to screw up until after you've already landed a few shots. You need to land every shot with just a vague idea how the balls will act once you fire. On top of not knowing where a ball is going to go when you hit it, you fire the ball by holding the space bar, which charges a meter, and releasing the space bar to fire. There's no way to cancel a shot once you've pressed space. You have no idea until you've played for a long time how far a shot will go with any amount full on the space bar. And if you hold the space bar for too long on accident, tough shit, you're committed to this shot, and you're probably going to miss and have to restart. So there's additional trial and error of never being certain how strong your shot is or how strong it needs to be, and a degree of lack of control setting a shot's strength in the first place. But worst of all is that if you aim your shot at a wall, a line appears to show how your ball will ricochet, but the line isn't accurate. The developer forgot to take into account that the line corresponds to the center of the ball, but the outer edge of the ball is what hits the wall first. So your ball will always go to the inside of where the line says it will, and trying to make a ricochet shot, you're just boned because you have an even worse idea of what the ball will actually do when you hit it. Put it this way, in a good puzzle game, the difficulty lies in trying to figure out what to do, not in actually doing it. The challenge in the game should come from which order do I go after the balls in, or how do I position my ball for each shot to avoid hitting an obstacle. It should not lie in having to start levels over and over again because you have no idea where your ball is going to go or if any of your shots are lined up correctly. Each new level adds a major new obstacle over the last ones. The second level places mines all over the board, the third has mines that spawn at random, and the fourth level adds ramps over bottomless pits. I can't help but feel like some intermediate levels to more kind of ease into the game mechanics, or at least have a lighter difficulty curve, would have been a lot better. If any ball so much as grazes the rim of a hole, it immediately gets sucked in like a black hole or tractor beam or something. This was obviously supposed to be a mercy rule, so you don't have to be quite so accurate with sinking a ball, but this happens to your own ball, the one that you control. And I remind you, losing your ball to a hole costs you so many points that it basically forces you to immediately reset the entire level. You're not given much room to screw up, which only compounds the problem of the imprecise controls. The only camera view is an overhead view. The game says that you can change the camera, but all that does is shrink the screen and change the aspect ratio. Plus the camera controls, I guess I have to put camera in air quotes, are mapped to the F5 and F6 keys of all things, things, and a lot of computers, like mine, use these keys for things like volume control. Use any of the other keys on the keyboard. There's like 26 of them and you're only using 4! The music is lousy. It's that Kevin MacLeod music that Jim Sterling says any developer is allowed to use for free, and I can see, rather hear, why. It's meant to give a meditational or calming vibe to the game, but each track is so repetitive that it really just barely even registers as music. The game has a glitch where even slightly pressing space before the aiming line appears will lose you a shot while your ball does nothing, or worse, in one instance it froze the game so badly that I had to reboot my entire computer. The 4th level is where I'm stuck, and judging from the other Steam reviews, it kinda sounds like nobody else has gotten past this level either. This level is 4 platforms suspended over a bottomless pit with ramps leading between them. The first 2 balls are easy, you just don't change the targeting line and you'll sink both of them. The problem comes with the 3rd ball. The general idea is you're supposed to hit this ball in the upper right corner, or at least get up to that platform because you've got a few points built up to where you can miss a shot. But here's the problem. Slightly too little power and the shot doesn't make the jump and goes down the pit. If the power is slightly too high, it ricochets and either hits the hole or goes down the pit. If the angle is slightly off, the ball ricochets and goes down the pit, lands in the hole, or knocks the ball you're aiming at off into the pit, all of which force you to restart instantly. All of this without really knowing what the correct angle or correct power even are in the first place. You just don't have a frame of reference for how tall this is or how in the actual hell you're supposed to fire the ball to make this jump, let alone sink that ball. Especially since, because this platform is elevated above where your ball starts, once your ball makes it up to that platform, it has slid several inches to the side from where you were aiming because of the perspective. The game gives you so little information that an already difficult jump is made downright infuriating. Oh my god, I actually made the jump. Just one more and I can finally beat this level. Come on. No! Damn it! I have to make the jump all over again! Just look at this. I have no idea how hard I need to hit the ball to cross the gap. I have no idea what angle I need to fire it in order to make that on this ledge so that I can sink the ball. And I have no idea how much power I can put into the shot without overshooting it. I have no idea where the ball will even land because the ball's position is going to shift from my aiming line once it gets up there. And there's no way to really figure out any of this on your own. And getting any of these aspects wrong forces you to start the entire level over. I know how to beat the level, but there's so much guesswork trying to line up the shot that winning this level almost boils down to luck, and being forced to start over every time that I miss is not helping my temperament! I was honored when an indie developer asked me to take a look at his game and let me play it for free, but in the back of my mind I couldn't help but ponder his motivation for doing so. Whether they were trying to boost sales or whether they were trying to get a second opinion after the largely negative reviews on Steam, I don't know, but I feel obligated to tell it like it is. Glowball is a great concept. I really enjoyed the first few levels, I like the casual mindset of the game, and it's a decent puzzle setup. The game feels difficult but not necessarily unfair, but you're given so little information about how a ball will behave once it's fired that there's a huge amount of guesswork to everything that the player does, and the levels that I enjoyed were majorly in spite of having to put up with that guesswork. I think putting a few more indicators, just giving the player a better idea where a ball will go, and also letting the player select the power of a shot rather than doing this awkward charge bar thing would really have helped. In short, great concept, but flawed execution.